Question number 10. Overuse injuries seem to be very prevalent in gymnastics. Do you have any suggestions for avoiding this frustration? In particular, could you address the prevalence of back injuries? Okay. Be prepared that when you raise your standards, you want to up your game and you want to compete with the big boys, that you are increasing the demands on your athlete. Anytime in any sport, you increase the demands on your athlete, you run the risk of overuse injuries, a greater risk of overuse injuries. This is where monitoring becomes very, very important. Keeping an eye on your program, making sure it's all-encompassing, making sure you're not overloading your complexes and your conditioning and covering the same muscle groups all the time. This is very important. Communication is key, where you develop a relationship with your athletes that they can tell you when something is bugging them, where a small injury doesn't turn into a large injury. That's very, very important. One of the leading causes for overuse injuries, and I talked to Dr. Nassar about this, is improper technique in the execution of not only gymnastic skills, but the conditioning elements that they're doing. This is why we don't sacrifice form and execution and technique for greater resistance. Okay? Because once they start compensating, when some improper form and technique, they'll start compensating. They'll use other muscles that they shouldn't be using at that time, and you get some overuse type syndromes with that type of situation. Okay? Always, again, going back to enforcing proper technique through all the exercises and skills now. Now, being a smart coach requires walking the fine line between enforcing a certain standard and expectation and crossing that line over into being unproductive or punishing the athlete. I've seen coaches climb the rope 10 times because you didn't make it up with all your hands, or do an extra 10 sets of push-ups because you didn't do them right the first time. Well, generally, if they didn't do them right the first time, they're certainly not going to be able to do them right after 10 sets. And you turn this, that's when you develop tendinitises and overuse injuries, when you're just abusing the body. So coaches are going to need to stay on top of that. Okay? Again, review, make sure you're monitoring not only your warm-up, but all your complexes as how they relate to your conditioning program, especially if you have multiple coaches making the requirements for the events. When we have one coach in charge of the conditioning program, they set out a list. The bar coach sets out a complex that is almost identical to the conditioning list, and now all of a sudden you have the kids doing way too many of one set of exercises or one body part too many. So make sure you're monitoring the total conditioning program, including your warm-up, your cool-down, your idle time stations, your complexes, etc. Hi folks, John Geddert here. I hope you got some great value from this video. I've got a few more Q&A videos I'd like to share with you, and you can grab those right now by simply clicking on the link below. Go ahead, click on the link below in the description box so that you can get your hands on these excellent Q&A videos to help you set up your gymnastics program for success. I've answered questions from coaches like you from all around the world who are struggling to put in place a conditioning program that works. So go ahead, click on the link below to get the next set of videos in this gymnastics conditioning series. I hope you enjoy them.